And this is why we always gotta be careful, guys. You always gotta be careful who you deal with. You always gotta be careful. Be careful around your surroundings. You just never know anything. You just never know. You just always gotta go to work. Show up, do your job, and just go back home, and that's it. Do your job, go to work, and that's it. You know. A couple of days ago, one of my friends on my job told me that a coworker. So there's just two guys, that work at the med team. If you guys work at Home Depot, you guys might know what the med team or what the med team is. Basically, med team is like the guys that usually do inventory. They'll come to the store. They usually pack out, and that's all they do. That's their main job. Just pack out. Do the tags. Make sure the stuff in the shelf are looking good. And basically all that kind of stuff. So I heard a couple of med team guys go in an argument. One of the med team guys went to another guy's house, put up a knife on him, telling him that you need to be careful, you need to watch your mouth, you need to be careful what you say around me, mind your own business, don't do this and that, I don't like how you're moving, stay in your lane, if something like this happens again, I'm gonna hurt you. And that was crazy. When I heard that, that was crazy. And for that, I think for that 1 day or 2 days, I realized that I wasn't seeing those guys because I was like, yo, where are these guys at? Because every day they always come to work. The med team, after that, I feel like the med team have their own personal schedule. So I'm like, yo, I usually see these two guys all together, working, fun, talking to each other, having fun and stuff like that. And I heard this happen. I told myself like, yo, how the hell is this happening? Why is this happening at the job? Why is this like this going on? And it turns out that yesterday, as soon as I went back to work yesterday, both of them came back to work. So I'm like, yo, how are these two guys still working here? And the other guy didn't get like the other guy for putting up the knife didn't get fired, or yeah, why didn't he get fired for putting a knife on someone else on your house? And it just baffles me. Like the job don't really care much about it. The job would just lie about it, and they don't care about it. Because if I mean, because imagine if he got stabbed or anything like, or he got hurt. I mean, he would still be working here. And don't get me wrong, the guy that put a knife on the other guy, he's really close to the managers on my job. He's really close to the supervisors. So basically, people know him. So I was kind of shocked that I was not really surprised that he still came back to work. Because I'm like, yo, this guy know a bunch of people in the store, so he's still gonna get fired. And the second guy is actually like he's more like a quiet guy, more quiet guy, mind his own business, he does his job, and just focus on himself. And I'm so shocked that he actually did something like that, because I'm like, you will not expect your coworker to pull up a knife and pull up to your house. I mean, the fact that he actually knows your house as well is actually scary, bro. Like I would never. This is why I don't allow people to come to my house. I don't allow people to even know where I live. I mean, if you ask me where I live, I'm gonna say Jersey. I'm gonna start living in Jersey. I'm gonna start living in Jersey. But if you want my actual address, I'm not gonna give you my address. Nothing. I'm not gonna tell where I live or anything like that. Because why are you trying to figure out where I live? I could tell where I live. I live in Jersey. That I could tell you, but like, I'm not gonna give you my address. So it was actually crazy for me to actually hear that. That yo, this guy put up with a knife as well to your co-worker's house that you actually work with, that you guys work together, and to do something like this to your coworker, and it's just crazy. And I could sense something was going on, because when I went back to work, like you could tell the med team are usually together. They have different associates going to different department work, and doing their working as well. So as soon as I came back, they were just distancing. I feel like the store. Someone told the store, and then they mentioned knew about it. The supervisors, everybody, they knew what happened. So I guess they decided to like separate everybody, separate the two guys from working. I want you to work on this right here, and I want you I want you to work on this side right here, which I quite understand. Which that's pretty good, because you don't want to have no confusion. When you don't want to have no issues with work related. In the job. You got customers. You don't want to see anything like that. So I'm just saying to myself, like, it's really, when I heard it, I was like, yo, I need to we need to be careful who we work with. And we need to be careful who we surround ourselves with. Nobody. That's what I'm saying. You can't trust nobody at work. You can't trust nobody. You cannot even freaking be friends with nobody because you just never know what people could think about you. The next thing you go, you could go to work tomorrow and someone could have a freaking gun tomorrow. I could go to work, someone could have a gun, a knife, whatever, and they could just come at you and just hit you with it. They don't, and that's it. That's all they care, but they don't care. They could just hit you, kill you, whatever. So it's just important for us, like, especially for me as well, to be careful. I'm always careful. I'm always careful who I try to talk to, because some people at my job, even my coworkers, I could try to talk to I could talk to a few people, and based on how your reaction is, based on how your face reactions is, I could just tell by your face reaction. I could tell by the response the response I'm gonna get from you. I could just tell, like, yo, whether this person gonna talk to me or not. I could see the sarcasm coming out of your mouth. I could see how you talk to me out of your mouth. Like, I've seen a bunch of people do that at my work. I talked to there was this coworker that I was trying to talk to yesterday in the morning. I was like, yo, I was saying, hey, look, why is that we don't have that much customers today? It's pretty slow today. And he just completely ignored me. Like, he just ignored me. He acted like I wasn't there. He just said, I was like, yo. And I'm thinking to myself, like, so I just said something to you and you're just going to ignore me? Like, really? Like, I'm trying to, strike a conversation. Like, yo, keep the day moving, stuff like that. He just completely shut me off. So I thought to myself, like, yo, you know what? Okay, cool. Fine. And it's just a lesson. It's just something, I also got to, learn. I mean, of course I do know this, but, like, bringing a knife to, I just don't understand the fact that, you bring a knife to another person's house just to, threaten him because of a little argument happened. Oh, I don't know what the issue, I don't know what even happened, but, like, it's crazy. And you would think that, he would get fired. You would think that, he would get in trouble. You would think that, he would actually, something probably, call the cops or whatever or something. Because, come on, trust me, if that was me, I am not going to let that slide, bro. I'm calling the cops, all right? I'm letting them know at their job, like, yo, this guy put up to my house with a knife, and he said this and this to me. I'm not going to let that slide. And the fact that, I understand the job, right? I think one of the reasons why the job was not going to, fire him was because, it's not a job, it's not a job site. It's not, around Home Depot. It's more like, at your house, outside, close to where they live, stuff like that. That's where that occurs. So at the same time, I understand that, he's not gonna get fired for, it wasn't at Home Depot. He wasn't even being at Home Depot, so there's no point. But at the same time, the person works at Home Depot, and the person put a knife on someone that he works with. That means that that person is a danger to society, a danger to people that you work with, because people are gonna look at you at the job like, yo, you work in a med team, and so people are gonna look at you like, yo, this guy is doing stuff like this. He has a knife, he has stuff like that. People are gonna look at you like, yo, you get what I'm saying? So I understand the job, firing them, but I'll be a little bit sad if the other guy got fired because he's such a good guy, works, does his job, focus on himself, talk less and just do his job and willing to help people out. He's just almost just like me, help people out, do your job, focus on yourself, and that's it. But I'm like, yo, the job don't care. I understand the job, they're not gonna fight because you're not doing that at Home Depot. If you do that at Home Depot, you gonna get fired. They're gonna call the cops on you. Which I understand. But still, I just understand like how the person is still working at Home Depot if the person had put up with a knife on another associate, and the person works at the med team. If you ask me in my base opinion right now, I'm like, yo, the guy should have got fired, bro. Regardless of whether it was at Home Depot or not, the person should have got fired because you can't bring a knife to another person's house and try to like threaten the person. I understand that's not Home Depot property, but like, yo, at the same time, it's job safety, bro. Because the guy could bring a knife at Home Depot and try bring a knife at Home Depot and strike the guy again. So this is why it's important. You can't trust nobody at work. You can't trust your coworkers at work. I can't trust my coworkers. Me personally, I can't trust my coworkers at work If I do trust them, I only trust like one or two people, and that's it. And the rest of them, I just can't. I can't trust you 100%. I'm gonna trust you a little bit, but I'm not gonna trust you 100%. Like, yo, I could see you doing this and that. I can't trust you fully 100%. But when I heard that, I was shocked. I was really, really shocked. Like, yo, this actually happened. Like, I was just like, yo, what the hell, you know? But it just goes to show you that people don't care about, people just don't care about, they don't care about, just because, we work together at Home Depot doesn't mean like we are cool. They don't care. At the end of the day, Home Depot is a business job. A business job, you don't really have to talk to everybody that much, especially at Home Depot retail. You just can't talk to people that much. And it's a lesson to you guys out there as well that you can't really trust people that much. Because I'm pretty sure this is not the first time you guys have heard something like this. You probably heard this like a million times already from different, not this same story, but like different, different stuff like this happening. But for me, this is like my first time actually hearing. This is like my first time actually, seeing something like this, hearing something like this from two workers that actually work at the same department, and the fact that it's the same department as well is actually even crazy. It's just crazy. That just shows I mean, if this happened, I mean, this is just a lack of disconnection then, because how is that the person is able to come back to work and work with the same person again? I just understand. For me personally, I just understand. And the fact that they have the med team as well. I could just see everybody in the med team like looking like everybody's like social distancing themselves from this person, this guy over here going up and down, and it's just crazy. And also my coworker was telling me that this is a different situation. So he also heard like a med team and another guy were actually having an argument, down in the break room, and he doesn't even know whether they were having an argument or whatever. I don't know. And he was like, yo, he tried to like break up the fight, stuff like that. And, they told me like, yo, this mind your own business. Shut the f up. Go away, walk away, mind your own business and stuff like that. And I just don't get it. I mean, look, first of all, that's not your business. Just mind your own business and just walk away. And second of all, what is going on? I just don't know what is going on Home Depot now. Retail job, Home Depot. I just don't know I just don't know what's going on. Like, as of right now, the management in Home Depot just don't care no more. All right, you could see associates just like standing around, not doing nothing. Waiting for people to tell them what they gotta do. There are times like I'll try to tell people like, yo, let's do this and that. Let's go work. We gotta do some shit. Cause I'm not gonna let you stand and just like do nothing. All right, I understand. You don't wanna do. You don't wanna work. You don't wanna do nothing, and you just wanna stand around and just like talk, and that's it. And it's just, for me personally, it's just sad. Yeah, I see everything is just sad. But back to the story, it's just sad, man. Like the fact that the guy didn't get fired for putting the gun. I mean, he didn't get fired for putting the gun. That shows that it's crazy. It's people like him at the job. So what's the point? He got friends at the job. He can't get fired. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. What do you guys think though? What do you guys think about this situation? How do you guys feel if this happened at your job? And it's just sad. And the person that actually told me this story was actually one of the guy, the guy that one of the guys that the quiet guy, one of the quiet guys, friend that she told me that this happened to him and then the other guy as well. So it's sad. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what's happening below the comments below. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm gonna make another video. It's gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad. What I gotta say. It's sad what I had to, what I had to witness in my next video and what I had to see for myself. But yeah, next video is gonna be crazy, man. I'm gonna make the video right now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. By the time you guys see the next video, it's gonna be uploaded for next week. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe below. 30 subscribers, man. Appreciate you guys for 30 subscribers, bro. Thank you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think? Let me know below. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace.